Hi, Carol Beringer here, and welcome to the Amazing Movement podcast. And the purpose of this podcast is to help you find as much joy and well-being in your life day in and day out. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Amazing Movement, the Carol Beringer Method, because we are talking about resolving to be resilient day in and day out. And one of the people that I know is super resilient is Sarah Carkner. And so I'm going to ask, because we haven't caught up in so long.
Yes.
Now, I met Sarah because her sister Liz, who will be another interview, we met at a yoga training. And I think I tried to figure it out today. I think it might be 11 years.
Okay.
It's 11? Okay, she's over there. And so she's backing me up that it's 11 years. And I haven't caught up with you in forever.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now?
So I'm doing a bunch of things, which is what I like. Although I am trying to hone in a little bit, but I definitely still have that entrepreneurial wellness spirit of doing kind of different things in the wellness space. So I do run group exercise at ACAC in Westchester. So we have like over 200 classes and there's 80 instructors. So I run their program, which is, a lot of fun and keeps me moving and shaking. And then I have FAB Empowers, which stands for Fun Ascending Boundaries, Making Personal Development Fun. And it's a female oriented group where we do wellness events. So we throughout the year offer different wellness opportunities.
Give us an example of one.
For example, 50 Shades of Fab chair dance event we have right before Valentine's Day every year. We learn a little fun, sexy chair dance. But it's really about feeling empowered and feeling good in your own skin and having fun together. So even though it's a sexy chair dance you are learning, there's so much laughter, so much bonding and camaraderie. It's really awesome event. So we do that every year.
How many people do you usually have at an event?
That particular event, because it's at my business partner's dance studio, which is in Newtown Square. It's called From the Top Studio of Dance. We can only fit a certain amount of chairs. So basically like 20 to 25 chairs. It's chair dependent. You got to have a chair. You got to reserve your chair. So that's that event. But we'll do things like an outdoor cardio dance party where we'll have that at a big park and we'll open that up and we can get a lot of people coming to something like that. So those are the kind of events we'll do. I am also doing a retreat that's at the Church of the Loving Shepherd in Westchester. That's coming in May, and that's going to have sound bowls, and I'm going to be doing joyful movement, and there's going to be energy healing. So it's just throughout the year opportunities for women to get together and have experiences of joy, really. Which is what I'm about.
Yeah.
Which is a good aspect of wellness and to be well and to focus on wellness. So that's what I do with that. And then I always do the coaching. So I still have a couple of clients that I help them, with goal setting in whatever area of their life they feel they need. But I take a wellness approach to everything.
Tell us a little bit about your book because it was adorable. I read it.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. I read it on a plane last, when was it that I went? In June, I went to French Polynesia.
Oh, wow.
So it was going to be a long day and a half. So I took the book and I gave it to somebody at the other end. So know that your book is in Tahiti. Yes.
That makes me really happy. Pay it forward.
Yes.
Because
I do
in
that.
the book, so it's 10 life lessons I learned on the fitness floor. And for a short time, I was running ACAC for a little while we're getting a full-time person. And so many different experiences happened, as you know.
The book is hilarious.
As you read the book. And I just felt compelled. I was like, wow, I feel like we need... And I want to do it in a fun way. So making personal development fun because it should be fun. I think some people
When are you
shy
not
away
fun?
from shy away from it because it's like, oh, it's work. It's the best work you can do. If you can do this work, it's going to make your life better, richer, more fulfilling. So yeah, it takes energy and effort. So this is a life lesson, a story, and then a tool. And I'm very big on tools because of what I'm seeing. I also present at corporations. I do different presentations and stuff. But what I see is everybody gets all gung-ho on the front end. And then when it comes to application and saying, how can we learn from this? And I don't think people take enough time to say, wow, I had this life event. I had this experience. What can I learn from it? And then how am I going to apply that? I mean, we all have those people in our life, whether it's dating the same guy or in the job, that just like, oh my God, are they not figuring this out yet? Yeah. It's easy for you because, as a friend, an observer, a colleague, to see the patterns. It's harder when you're in it. So to be able to step back and say, okay, what did I learn from this? Maybe I learned that I need to set boundaries different. Maybe I learned that I need to learn to say no. Maybe I learned that I need to be more assertive for myself. Whatever it is, taking it to pen and paper is going to work different parts of your brain. And that's what we need to do, especially when we're so digital. As a professor, I was a professor for 8 years, and I used to make the kids still write things down, and they don't learn to write. They really, they don't learn to write anymore. And I'm like, you guys, this will solidify it for you. So within this book, as you know, there's exercises to do. And if you really do them, it's going to change your life. And they're fun.
It makes you just be in that present moment with that, because we all put on the back burner like, okay, this happened, and then this happens now. And I love it when people say, well, when things calm down, right. It never happens. Like whatever goes away, something at least as big comes to replace it, if not bigger, and challenges you to the next place. So if we don't have this outlook of joy and resolving to be resilient, that you just can get so bogged down in the shoulda, woulda, couldas.
Absolutely.
And just can't have that.
Right. And I'm really big. I always talk about living the width of my life, not just the length. And if you don't do that, you're just living the length of your life.
I call it expanding time.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
It's like somebody will say, well, I don't have time for that. Like,
right.
We do what's important to us.
That's right.
And sometimes, especially since we're all other oriented, I think, and the people that I'm interviewing, we show up for other people,
right?
And so we have to walk our talk,
right? Oh, well, that's one of my big,
but like you said,
life themes for me.
Yeah. So in this, I have a Pilates studio, and so that's why I said, what could be a better job for my staff? And I have a wonderful staff. It's like, what could be better? Someone comes in. They engage with you, like, who do you spend 55 minutes with one-on-one once or twice a week? So you really get involved. And it's like they come in and you give them the first 10 minutes to get settled in and say what's on their mind, and then move them. And they leave, and you've helped them feel better. They feel better. And what could be a better way to spend your life?
Beautiful.
And so you've brought it to every chapter.
I try to bring it. I think that boils down to my fundamental personal life mission, and I do think that's something for people to explore, and I don't think people explore that either. So for me,
they say they don't have time, or they just put it on the back burner
because they don't have a personal mission. So my personal mission is to create opportunities for joy, but then also with whatever I'm doing, to do it to the best of my ability with my fullest integrity as much as I can, because that's something that's important to me, but then also to help other people step into their light. So that's something that is always in the back of my mind, of how can I help other people be their best selves, no matter what we do.
So do you feel that because when you make people feel better in their bodies and their movement and that they feel then they make better choices and they're bolder, and that 100%. Don't you think?
100%.
And interestingly enough, I just went to the Chester County Food Bank for a tour with a friend who's a donor there, and now I'm a donor there.
Oh, good.
Everyone should go visit a food bank that is really doing something for the near community rather than the bigger ones, because they, it's so diverse. But this young man, he says, I came to this job here because movement and eating, if you can't do both of those things, if you're not getting that nourishment both ways, you don't have anything else. And I was like, wow.
Right.
So he was very
spoke
purposeful. My mind. Yeah. Yes. So, and that's where you come from.
Yeah. And I also think then taking that one step deeper, it comes from whatever you do. So if you're going to Target and you're in line, you can have an energetic input on somebody, just by smiling at them.
Oh my gosh.
So it can be the micro and the macro of what you're doing.
Get that.
And so I was actually thinking about this morning about like purpose, and a lot of people are like, oh, you have to find your purpose. Your purpose can be just to show up with your best energetic self.
Yeah.
Or even with your most balanced nervous system. So then other people can experience what it's like to be with people with a balanced nervous system. Mm-hmm. And I had heard a therapist, I don't remember who it was, who said their job as a therapist was just to be a space where their nervous system was balanced for somebody who isn't.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's really a powerful thing. So even whatever interactions I have with people, and I'm often surprised by it. Like if you're just friendly. My daughter actually was telling me a story about how, when you're supposed to wave, like say thank you if you like merge, say, you go like this when you're driving. She says she blows kisses now. She's like, I go, mwah, 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 mwah. And she's like, her whole thing is just blowing kisses. And I was like, that's hilarious. Because if I was driving and someone was like, mwah, mwah, thank you, that's such a happy energy.
Yeah.
As opposed to, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And it would make my day.
I'm going to steal that.
Right? Isn't that adorable?
It. Yeah.
But that's a very basic thing that everybody can make the decision to do that and decide how they want to contribute to the world. And then that brings back to your first question about resiliency.
Yeah.
And it's a choice and a decision,
Mm-hmm.
of how you want to show up in the world.
Yeah. I mean, the local supermarket, when I come up, I always look for this one particular cashier because I enjoy her energy.
Oh,
and
that's
when
nice.
she looks up and she sees that I'm next, she said to me one day, I am so happy when I see you. And I said, because nobody around here is smiling.
Yes. Well, that's exactly.
And this past Thanksgiving, one of my male clients, he came in and he said, I was at Whole Foods yesterday, and he goes, not one person had a smile on their face. And he
Aw.
said, then I had to go to Wegmans. And he goes, it was so hectic in there. And I always feel in Wegmans, it's overwhelming to me. Like they
Right.
need traffic signs.
Yes.
And he
yes.
said, literally 2 women, so absorbed in their own thing, smashed their carts together. And he said, they went at each other like I thought
Right.
they were going to get in a fight. So I left the studio sometime after him, probably for my lunch break. And I went to a local supermarket and then to the farmer's market. And then I went into DeBruno's across from the farmer's
Yeah.
market.
Yeah.
And nobody's smiling in Whole Foods. I went to the farmer's market. I'd go there the day before a holiday just because it's joyful.
Right.
Because there's these long lines, everybody waiting, and they're chatting up, and people have their kids with. I mean, it's fun. Even if you don't eat anything, it's fun.
Right.
And then I went over to DeBruno's, and it was joyful and festive. So I called him up, and I'm there like, get in your car, go to the farmer's. He never goes to the farmer's market.
Right.
Just walk through. You don't have to buy a thing. Just absorb the joy, and then go over to DeBruno's. And he goes, I'm so glad you made me do that.
Oh, did he do it?
It changed him around. Yeah,
Right.
he did it. I was
But
surprised.
also, hopefully, he went looking for that. And I think you probably look for that more. And I think that's a big thing, too. Like, you're looking for opportunities for
I just think
joy.
it's who you genuinely are, and I genuinely. My mother, when I was even a kid, would say, "You've never met a stranger."
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and there's always that. You see that line in movies all the time, or like where someone says, "Just show someone your smile, you'll get one back," and it's really that
Right.
simple.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right, so the questions that I
Yes.
prepared you for, perhaps,
Yes.
were what are your 3 priorities right now in life? Do you?
Do you want the life ones or the personal
Well,
ones?
I want your current ones.
Okay.
And because we kind of have the gist of your life ones, but then I'm going to ask your life ones and how they mix
Okay.
together.
So I would say my current thing right now is getting to know myself. So my priority is spending time with myself in a way I haven't before, because now my daughter is in college, I'm divorced, it's a different part of my life. So getting to know myself again.
So you can quietly.
Yes.
Get
And
in
I'm the
touch.
youngest of a big family, so I was born into lots of things always happening. So this is the first time I'm really experiencing in my entire life being alone.
Lack of chaos.
Yeah, lack of chaos. And so it's getting
Chaos-less.
to know myself in a different way, not abandoning myself in any way, and which means asking myself what I really want. Because a lot of times, as a mother or a partner or a sibling or a daughter, you worry about everybody else, especially if you have my kind of personality, So it's been really good to be like, what does Sarah want? And then not running from that. And so that's another big thing, not trying to fill that time with other things, but sitting with myself. So I'm doing things like I, got a coloring book and I'll color or puzzles, and being okay with that quietness and learning to be okay with the stillness, which is kind of meditative, really.
Mhm.
And that's why you do the meditation. And a lot of people have a hard time with that because it's go, go, go and noise and all that stuff. So it's been really, that's been my priority, not to run away from that, but to settle and lean into it and just be like, oh, and observe what comes up for me.
And not be afraid of change. I don't think you
Right.
are, but so many people are.
Right.
And I've always embraced change. And when I look back, sometimes I should have been terrified.
Right.
but I'd say yeah. So
you've probably
interesting.
had some positive experiences of change, which helped allow you to.
I learned as much from the not positive ones,
Right.
but I'm a little more dense on those. It took me longer to find boundaries.
Right.
My boundary's still way far back, but it's not as far back as it used to be.
Right.
And so what were do you feel that your life ones were much different than your?
Not really. I actually, years and years and years ago, gosh, probably in 2008, I actually have written, and I've always kept it with me, my life mission. So part of my life's mission is staying in balance. It's finding joy. I have these 10 things written out. It's supporting my daughter on her journey.
Is it in the book?
No, it's
We
not.
need
in the
another book, Sarah.
It's not in the book. Everybody should do that, though. I mean, it is a tool that I do with my clients where we will
I have
create
a different way of going
Yes.
about it, but I do it.
creating that.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Most people have their birthday, New Year's Eve, and Thanksgiving to look at what they're grateful for, what they'd like to change, and if they have the power to do so. So they have 3 opportunities, and I'm missing one because my birthday is New Year's Eve, and that's a big one for most people. So I started Thanksgiving and practice the 5 weeks till New Year's, and then revisit it.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I've done this since I was 40, and so I've had 32 years of experience with it, and every year it gets better. And so that's why I've always done it, because it's like, if you can during the holiday season make any kind of improvement with all the flurry of activities,
right,
and all that, then that's worth sticking with.
I think that's the touchstone of what some religion used to be, and we've lost that a little bit, in the sense of Sunday being a day just to reflect on your week. And it doesn't mean you have to go to church. Maybe it's you go for a walk, but having that ritual of some kind during your week, I think, is also important to have that. So I would say I might do the bigger, I've kind of honed in on what my life goals are, but week to week, it's saying, okay, where can I tweak this? Or am I focused on those life goals?
And do you write those? Do you write them?
I don't write those down. I have taken times in my life where maybe I've come to a crossroad or something's happened, and I will take to paper. I've done Venn diagrams and stuff just to get it out, to identify. Because I also, as a person who does like a lot of different things, I like to have a lot of different experiences. And my sister and I have talked about this. The good thing about that, having lots of different interests and experiences, is you get to have a breadth of experience, like we said, you get to do different things, but then it can make it difficult because sometimes you want to just hone in and focus, and be able to just say, okay, so I revisit that a lot. So during times like that, I'll be like, okay, let me hone it in. And lately I've been saying to myself, if I could only do one thing, what would I do? If I had to cut everything else that I do, what would the one thing that I feel like I can contribute the most to the world? Because my time is changing the older I get, and the more impact I want to have on the earth.
Do you think you'll figure that out?
You know what? I think it's always going to be a continual process, but I do think, I've even just updated my website recently to filter out some of the stuff that I've been done. Because I'm always like, sure, I'll do that. That sounds fun. You want me to do a flash mob for you? Okay. You want me to do this? And I wouldn't say no. Now I'm getting to the point and it worked for me, because I loved doing all that. But now I'm, I am getting to the point where I want a different lifestyle for myself, just meaning the way I want my life to be, given that my daughter's graduating college and things like that, as I live this next chapter.
Well, a couple decades ago, I had to practice what you're talking about. I literally stood in front of a mirror because I would say yes to everything everybody asked of me. And I was starting to feel like you can't multitask that much. I mean, nothing, you can't do everything 100%. Right. So at some point decades ago, I had to say, you know what? I can't do all of that, but I'll take this piece that I know I can do simply by myself without stress. I'm willing to do this. I can't do the whole thing you're asking me about.
And I do think we always have to bring it back to that, being fully present and being able to focus on what we're doing. But I think, with being a mother, with being a career woman, there's a lot of different directions you're pulled in. So it's easy to have to do everything. So staying centered, bringing it back. And I think it's just always course correcting, bring it back, course correcting.
But you've always loved yours. You've loved your different choices at some level. And there are a lot of people that don't have even that choice. I mean, they seriously don't. And that's kind of scary to me. It breaks my heart a lot that, there are huge pieces of our population. I actually have a friend with a deteriorating disease who says she has a complicated relationship with it because she has the means to take good care of herself, and that the people that really need to work for a living day in and day out and need the money to make ends meet are the ones that are exhausting themselves so much that their illness is worse and they don't have the means to take a break. And so there's a problem that we're seeing that we need to try to fix and fill a void of. So to me, that's an exciting opportunity to say, okay, how can we contribute to that? Yeah. And I think that's something that just even hearing you talk about that, it's like, okay, what programs can we bring about to help those people with those situations? Yeah. And I think having discussion. I mean, I do try to do that, but I could do that even more. I mean, you can only do so much and you have to find the things you're passionate about. But I think if we get the dialogue and the discussion to be different about that, even linking back to the very simple thing of, those people who,
you were saying they were in the grocery store and they were about to get in the fight because there was a lot probably going on, and there's a backstory.
And
for
it's
those
Thanksgiving.
People. Yes, and they're stressed and all this stuff, and it's like instead of can I help you guys?
Okay, so the next question was, apart from all your responsibilities, although I think you just enjoy the things that are your responsibilities, what kind of interests do you have that have nothing to do with any of those?
That's a great question. Interests. I mean, I do love personal development, which is linked to my job. So that's a good thing. I am into that. I do. I enjoy having a lot of different experiences. I love music. I love going to concerts. We were going to go to drag karaoke last night, but that didn't happen. I love regular karaoke, trivia nights. Like, I just like doing a lot of different things. I'm the kind of person who I'll try anything once for sure. So I think as I've gotten older, I didn't realize maybe I was so like that.
Well, wait till you get to really be older.
I'm just, you're so funny. But I feel like, I just trying out different things to see really, what sticks, but being open to that, because I do think one of the things I'm seeing kind of across the board is people living small and not getting out there and trying to have different experiences. And, they get into routine, they get into habits. And I think you need to be jostled every now and again. You need to, allow yourself experiences of joy and make that a priority to bring that into your life.
And do you have a structure to your day or week, or do you just roll
not
with
as
it?
much as I should. Probably.
No shoulding.
No shoulding.
No shoulding.
No, I know. And that's the thing they do say, if it's working for you, don't judge it too much. A lot of my friends have these rituals in the morning. Like when they wake up, they're like, oh, I wake up and I go have my coffee and I, do Wordle. Or somebody else will say, oh, I wake up and I always do the crossword, or I wake up and I just whatever. They all have these rituals. So then I started being like, do I need a ritual? Because I am without some kind of ritual. But then I have to say to myself, it's only if it doesn't work for you.
Your ritual is not having a ritual.
Right. So maybe my ritual is just doing my thing, getting up and going, and so I think that's a big thing. I think for people to let themselves be who they are. If something's not working, then you want to change it. But if it works for you, it's okay. And we have a lot of things that like, oh, I should be meditating. And I hear people, I should. Well, why should you do that? If it's, maybe you should, if it really will bring you peace or joy or, give you homeostasis for your nervous system or whatever. But it's okay to also be you. So that's a big message and thing that I think, especially with something like this, when you do the things to figure out who you are and what you want for yourself and what kind of person you want to be. And it's okay. So my morning ritual is not really a ritual. I guess my hobbies are just trying anything and everything out there to live life fully.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Thanks for sharing your time. And so for viewers and listeners, if so instead of putting a lot of information that you have to look up later or go somewhere else, if you want to be in touch with Sarah, just write to hello@carolberinger.com and I'll put you in touch.
Awesome.
and keep you in the loop, or
with our events,
and we're going to share. I think
That's
we all
great.
should start sharing. Did I say should? I think I might
It
have.
would be a
okay.
joy.
It will be a joy to share all of our network together more and bring all these things. And you had a podcast.
I did.
Yeah, what was
Life Flat to Fabulous. It was on Voice of America. We did 17 episodes. It was great. It was with Sheila Turner, my business partner who owns From the Top Dance Studio for FAB Empowers. And it was a pleasure. It was a joy. We had a great time, but then COVID came.
Yeah.
And we kind of stopped.
So you're a pro at this. I'm pretty new to it.
It was fun. Well, this is videoed. Ours was not on video at the time.
Well, we do have this on podcast where it's
audio.
Audio only. And well, thanks.
Yeah, this was
all
a
right.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
good to see you and catch up.
Thank you all the listeners.
Wow.
Very fun.
All right. See you next time.